Old low-accuracy missiles in Russia will last for a few months. At the beginning of the full-scale war, Russia had more than 7,000 medium-range and short-range missiles. Almost half of these missiles are non-high-precision Kh-22, Kh-55, and Tochka-U complexes. In the first stage, the guerrillas used mostly sea-based caliber missiles and Iskander missile systems. Several times Russia announced the use of the latest development, the Kh-47 Kinzhal. Since Russia did not expect a 3-year war, it actively used these missiles, even though its stockpile was not very large. These were 2,000 to 3,000 units. In February, the first reports appeared about the fact that the Ministry of Defense of Russia began to look for missiles on the outside. In China, North Korea, and other dictatorial countries. Around this time, there was information about the first use of X-59 missiles. This is an old Soviet missile from the 1980s, but it is quite accurate. The range is less than 10 meters, but the USSR and Russia are willing to increase the real accuracy of their weapons, reads the article. The Kh-59 has a short range of less than 300 kilometers. KSK-59s can only be launched in border areas or along the Black Sea coast. It has a 300 kilograms payload, which means it cannot destroy a large object. The ancient Kh-55s and their modern modification Kh-555 became an alternative to the calibers at a greater distance. They have a greater circular distance, 20 to 100 m. Also at this time there was the first confirmation of Russia's deployment of Tochka-U complexes, which have been officially withdrawn from military service in Russia. Tochka-U is in general a mass destruction weapon. It is able to destroy living force on an area up to 30 hectares, depending on the type of warhead. In addition, the range of the missile can reach up to 250 meters. Moreover, missiles to the Tochka-U complexes are often very old and there is a high risk that the missile will not reach its target at all. This is a very unreliable weapon that causes destruction on a large area, the article says. Russia has already launched about 3,000 missiles at Ukraine. Journalists admit that there are not many Kalib and Iskander missiles left in the hands of the guerrillas. This confirms that Russia uses not only old and cheap missiles, but also new and expensive ones. Among them are anti-ship P-800 Onyx missiles costing about $1 million for one. These rockets were developed for quite different purposes. Their use on the ground indicates that the Russians have few cheap missiles of sufficient accuracy. Or Russia is not able to supply caliber missiles to the Black and Caspian fleets. If the Russians really run out of Kh-101, calibers and distant Iskander missiles, only the older Kh-55s and Kh-22s are deprived with a range of over 500 kilometers. The bad news is that there are more than 2,000 of these missiles and they can last another few months of bombing. And their inaccuracy could lead to terrible consequences.